Hello, everybody, and welcome to the January 10th, 21 edition of the Bobby Hesley Show, the 2021 edition of the Bobby Hesley Show. How's everybody doing tonight? Everybody hanging in there? Everybody going crazy? Everybody sad? Everybody mad? Everybody depressed? Everybody feeling despair? Huh? How's everybody doing? Talk to your man, Bobby Hesley. Guys, haven't heard from me much these last few days because I've been very, very busy. But guys, I want to coin a phrase that I want you to remember from my show. Okay. We have two choices for how to deal with all the craziness of everything that's going on right now. And I got to say, I'm a little bit disappointed with my side. I'm a little bit disappointed with the right for lots of reasons. I mean, I'm disappointed with all the Republicrats. You guys know all the rants that I've been going off on the Republicrats about how they sold out Donald Trump. They threw him under the bus. They've thrown us under the bus, and they really have. But I don't want to repeat myself there. What I've been kind of disappointed with lately is I'm seeing a lot of fake news coming out from the right, guys. I'm seeing lots of boys crying wolf, and that's dangerous, guys. It is dangerous for many reasons. But here's the main reason why it's dangerous. We're in such a sensitive time right now in our country. We are in a very dark time right now. Very, very dark time in our country. And the fact is, I feel like there's lots of people that are putting out false hope. And I'm not going to do that. I refuse to do that. I would rather say, guys, I don't know what's going on right now. Guys, I'm agnostic right now. Guys, I'm still researching this right now. I don't have all the facts right now. Because the problem is I'm hearing so many, and I hate to say conspiracy theory because I'm a conspiracy theorist myself, folks. Maybe one of these days I'll set up a paywall to where I can unleash all of my very triggering, very controversial, very unpopular conspiracy theories out on the world. And I got lots of them, folks. I've got a lot of conspiracy theories, folks. So trust me, I'm probably calling myself one when I use that term. But I'm seeing a lot of people, and I don't know if they're doing it on accident or on purpose, that are pushing out information. And the result of this information is giving a lot of people false hope. It is, guys. And here's the problem with false hope, is that false hope unfulfilled leads to despair. That's what it leads to. I feel like there's a lot of people out there right now that are in for lots of despair when all of these little, tricks up the sleeve that everybody's on the end on that doesn't have any proof or any verification of keeps pumping out to the masses. Trump's got this next trick up his sleeve and this and that. And don't get me wrong, folks. I was the main guy saying to hold the line. I was the main guy saying it ain't over till it's over. I was the main guy saying that I'm not conceding, and I'm not. Trump hasn't conceded yet, so neither will I. But it seems like before Trump got kicked off Twitter, it seems like he was throwing in the towel. Do we know he did or not? I don't know. He's never congratulated Joe Biden, which is what a concession speech actually is. You congratulate your opponent for a campaign well run and for their victory. I haven't seen Trump congratulate Joe yet. As a matter of fact, he said the opposite and said he's not going to the inauguration. There are some people saying, is that going to be Biden's inauguration, Trump's inauguration, a military inauguration, because Trump is going to sign over the whole government to Mike Flynn? There's so much stuff going around, guys. What I want you guys to have, rather than having false hope, and I know it's not sexy, I know it's not sizzly, I know it doesn't give you the dopamine hits that having false hope has, but I want you to have healthy skepticism. Because I want you to remember this formula, guys. False hope equals despair. That's what false hope leads to. False hope leads to despair. Why do you think people commit suicide when things don't go their way, or they get depressed, or they drink, or they smoke, or they cut? Because they have false hope that was unmet. But rather than have false hope, I want you to have healthy skepticism. Because unlike false hope that leads to despair, which could manifest itself in many unhealthy ways, healthy skepticism leads to what I call, and this is a phrase you're only going to hear from you, man, Bobby Hesley. I like to coin phrases. Healthy skepticism leads to what I call functional disappointment. Think about that. Functional disappointment. That's what healthy skepticism leads to. What is functional disappointment? Functional disappointment is when you're really bummed out, maybe even a little bit pissed off. You're just bummed. You feel defeated. You feel ticked off. But it's a functional disappointment. In other words, you're still able to function. You're still able to get up and do what you have to do to focus on all those things within your life that are within your control. So that's the lesson. That's the moral of the story that I want you guys to take away from this. Okay. Now, I've got a lot that I'm going to address. We're just going to start right from the top. Let me get right into this. Before I do it, I need everybody to like this video, comment on it. Everybody share this video. Everybody share it. Parler's been shut down. So that's why everybody's on here on Facebook. Although it's funny, I have so many people telling me on Facebook to get on Parler. It's like, well, dude, if you're on Parler, what are you doing here on Facebook? Tell me to get on Parler. But anyway, let's get into this. I'm just going to start from the top. Nancy Pelosi is terrified. Nancy Pelosi is definitely terrified because she is trying really, really hard to get Donald Trump out of there before January 20th. I have never in my lifetime seen so many people so eager to get a sitting president out of there when he only has 10 days left on his inauguration. And I've heard reports of Nancy Pelosi really trying to pressure Mike Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment to remove Donald Trump because he's supposedly unfit for office after the coup that they're blaming him for, even though he told everybody to support law enforcement, to not be violent, to respect the law. And then he told everybody to go home. Okay. But the reason why I believe Nancy Pelosi is so afraid is because there's another thing going around. And notice I'm calling it a thing and not a rumor or a conspiracy theory. There's this thing going around, a report going around that Nancy Pelosi's laptop was indeed stolen. Now that is actually true, guys. That is actually true. I'm going to let you see it for yourself. Now, there's different websites I could have used to show this to you guys. I'm going to the WashingtonExaminer.com. It's a pretty leftist site, okay? And here's what the article says. Laptop stolen from Pelosi's office. It's dated for January 8th. So that is true, guys. Nancy Pelosi's laptop was definitely stolen. The article says, quote, a laptop was stolen from House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's office when the Capitol was under siege by protesters on Wednesday. A laptop from a conference room was stolen. It was a laptop that was only used for presentation, supposedly. Now, we don't know how true that is, said Drew Hamill, Pelosi's deputy chief of staff, said in a tweet on Friday. He was responding to a Reuters report that said a congressional aide to Pelosi revealed a laptop had been taken from the California Democrats' office. During the Wednesday breach, some rioters made their way into the speaker's office, taking photos at her desk and live streaming from inside. So, that is true, guys. That is a fact that Nancy Pelosi's laptop has definitely been stolen. And that's why people are saying, and again, this is conjecture, this is opinion, this isn't documented, but but it does make sense why Nancy Pelosi would be so worried. Okay? And that's why she's trying to get Trump out of there, because they're saying that he's going to declassify everything, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. Now, on to the next topic. And until I see it, guys, until I see proof of all of these things, I got to call it fake news. I got to have healthy skepticism so that if it ends up not being true, I'll have functional disappointment and I will carry on with my life. I'll build my business. I'll keep doing the things that I have control over. So that, and I want you guys to do the same thing. The next rumor, and until I see proof, it's fake news to me. And I'll take it back if I'm wrong. I'm developing a reputation for a guy who's willing to retract things he's wrong about. I'll admit I'm wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. Lord Jesus, I hope I'm wrong about this. The next piece is that Donald Trump signed the Insurrection Act last night. And that because Trump signed the Insurrection Act last night, that Washington, D.C. is currently under military occupation. And there's this video that's been going around that I'm going to show you guys. That's really been making the rounds, and I gotta be, and unfortunately, guys, it's getting put out from people on our side, people wearing MAGA hats, people who love Trump like I do, patriots like I am. They're putting this stuff out that they don't have any evidence of. They're jumping to conclusions. They're making assumptions, and in doing so, they are breeding lots of false hope. They're breeding lots of false hope in people that's going to lead to some despair. Check it out.
Hey guys, just got intel off the streets from these soldiers. We're right next to the Capitol of the United States. It's all barricaded up. There's soldiers on every corner. You guys can see here. This is Washington, D.C. right now in real time. They're here. The military is here. So we just got word from one of these guys that there is over 7,000 deployed troops inside Washington, D.C. Now they're everywhere. You guys can see it. They're on every corner. The military is here in Washington, D.C. What do you think this is? Feel free to comment. They're everywhere.
Now, guys.
Wow, look at them coming. Holy smokes. Look at them all. Holy shit. Look at them all. These are the good guys. These are the good guys.
I agree they're the good guys. Guys, I want you to catch something, but this drives home everything that I'm saying about all this conjecture. I want you to listen to what he says. He's kind of making it up as he goes, and he kind of admits that. Listen.
The military is here in Washington, D.C. What do you think this is? Feel free to comment.
See that? What do you think this is? Feel free to comment. So right there, he's already saying, guys, I know just as much as you, which is pretty much nothing at all, and that's why I want you guys to comment. That's what he's saying. What do you think this is? And here's the thing. Now, did he say that DC is under military occupation? No, I'm not gonna say that, because that would be fake news on my part, and that wouldn't be right. But there are people that are taking this video and are running with it and spinning this false narrative that Washington, D.C. is under military occupation, and that they're just basically cruising for a bruising, and they're locked and loaded, and they're waiting for a bunch of crooked Democrats and Republicans to show up so they can put them in handcuffs and get them before the military tribunals. And on and on and on and on. And the fact of the matter is, this video has been going around. I actually have a contact down in Washington, D.C. They actually live in Washington, D.C. They're a very good friend of mine. And I showed them this video. And this person told me, I'm not going to say he or she, but this person told me that this video was completely misleading. Now, whether it's misleading on purpose or on accident, that's in the heart of the guy who made it. But he lives in D.C. He's lived there for many years. I just said he. Duh. But anyway, nobody knows who this is. It's my friend. I'm not going to dox him, though. He's lived in D.C. for many years, guys, and he said this is routine. There's always times, there's cycles of troops that come in and out of D.C. where the city will be shut down, troops will do runs, they'll do practice drills, this and that, this and that. He said there's nothing out of the ordinary about this. He sees this all the time. There's always times when there's 7, 10, 12,000 troops down in D.C. This is nothing to write home about, folks. And this is why I believe a lot of this fake news is coming from Donald Trump signing the Insurrection Act. That's what we've been hearing a lot. We've been hearing a lot about Donald Trump signed the Insurrection Act last night. Well, where's the proof? And I hate to sound like Democrats have been sounding since November 3rd when they're saying, where's the proof of the F word? I saw the proof. And I've got friends who are willing to go to prison for 5 years under penalty of perjury to have sworn affidavits for what they saw. I'm not trying to put myself or sound like the where's the proof people that we've been fighting for these last 2 months. But I want to see proof that Donald Trump signed the Insurrection Act of 1807. And there's lots of people that are blending the two. They are reading martial law into the Insurrection Act, and it has nothing to do. The two have nothing to do with each other. Nothing at all to do with each other. And I'm going to prove that to you. Because if you go to whitehouse.gov, which is where I'm at right now, and you look at the executive order that Donald Trump signed back on September 12, 2018, notice that it says executive order on imposing certain sanctions in the event of foreign interference in a United States election. In other words, this executive order that Trump signed, this EO 13848, which is what I believe it's called, this just gives the president the power to punish people who had a hand in election fraud or foreign election interference. But I want to do something, guys. You see what I'm typing in here? Here's what I do. Let me teach you guys a quick little computer skill. You hold down the control button, you hit F as in Frank. That's the find feature. If there's any words you want to find on this website and you don't want to scroll through a bunch of text, you want to get right to a word, you hold down the control button, you hit F. Let's see if martial law is mentioned anywhere in this document. You ready? Let me show you. Let your man Bobby Hesley show you some on-air receipts. Let's spell Marshall. M-A-R-T-I-A-L. Oh, listen, look. Nothing comes up. The word Marshall is nowhere to be found in this document. Let's type it again. M-A-R-T-I-A-L. Marshall is nowhere to be found. Martial law. 0 results. 0 results. What about sanctions? Is that word in here? Oh, man, look at sanctions. That appears 10 times. Time number 1, sanctions. Time number 2, sanctions. It highlights your searched word. So there's sanctions everywhere. But where's this idea of martial law? Where's this idea of rounding up the U.S. military and putting them all in Washington, D.C., like people are trying to say that video was today, which my friend in D.C. who lives there, who was there this morning when I spoke with him, said, dude, there's nothing going on. We're not under martial law. He lives in friggin' D.C. He wasn't under lockdown. He wasn't under curfew. There weren't loudspeakers set up everywhere saying, stay in your houses. And if you come out your house, you must show me your papers. Ain't no martial law. You realize that would turn D.C. into a ghetto? That's where the word ghetto comes from. When the Nazis invaded Poland and they invaded different countries in Europe, they'd set up ghettos. And there were things that were blocked off, and there were soldiers and trucks everywhere. And it was a true military occupation. And they were locked down. It affected their lives. There's no lockdown. And that's why I wanted to talk to my friend who actually lives there, because I don't trust the mainstream news. I don't trust the mainstream news. So I wanted to talk to somebody who lives in D.C. who's a trustworthy source. So that's fake news number 2. The next thing is this notion of this emergency broadcast. That's the third one I want to start knocking down. So Trump was allegedly supposed to address the nation last night at midnight Eastern time after he supposedly signed the Insurrection Act, which I still have not seen a single shred of proof that he signed it yet. Because from what I understand, and I could be wrong, you guys can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but from what I understand, it would be published on whitehouse.gov. It's a matter of public record if he signs it. He can't sign laws in secret. He can't do things in secret. Everything's a matter of public record. Of course, I believe there was foreign interference in the election. Absolutely, I do. I totally, absolutely do. Problem is, none of our legal institutions are willing to look at the proof. So this address from President Trump never happened. Then we were supposed to be getting this emergency signal from Donald Trump or from whoever. That's never happened. And while we're on that note, there's the infamous Apple update that supposedly if you get this Apple update, it's going to destroy the ability of your phone to receive emergency alerts. Well, I actually put out a post earlier today disproving that. Because I actually went ahead, I'm a bit of a rebel. I actually went ahead and updated my phone. I went ahead and got that update, and I posted this on my Facebook page. If you want some simple instructions for those of you who use, Apple phones, this was a post that I did, and it reads, don't let the fake news fool you, folks. I did the Apple update, and government alerts are still enabled. If you have an iPhone, here's a few quick steps. You go to settings. You go to notifications. You scroll all the way down once you go to notifications, and you simply make sure that all the alerts are toggled in green as depicted below. So here's my notifications. Here's my setting. I went all the way down. Yeah, I still watch WWE. It's an old childhood thing. Most of the old stuff, Stone Cold, The Rock, Triple H, Undertaker, not this new crap. I don't like this new stuff. The new stuff's ballet. But if you scroll all the way down, look, there's my alerts. And guess what, guys? This screenshot is after I did this dreaded update that's supposedly going to make your phone melt down as soon as you do it. And lo and behold, the emergency updates were still checked off. They were not automatically disabled. And I did this on purpose. I did this to prove it. I said, you know what? Let me see if this checks out. Let me see if this is true. Let me see if I do this dreaded Apple update, if my emergency alerts, my public safety alerts, my Amber alerts are going to be disabled. I did the download. I've got the most recent version of iOS, and look at there. They're still good. And if you want even more proof of that, if you really, really want proof, let me show you my phone again. Let me go to notifications. I'll show it to you right on the air. Boom. They are still checked off. Can you guys see that? I don't know if you can see that. Actually, my background makes it hard to see. So that's the next piece of fake news that I wanted to eliminate, folks. Now, let's move on to the next one. The next piece is, let's see, I covered the martial law, covered the Apple update, my content. Now, Nancy Pelosi. That's the next piece. Nancy Pelosi was supposedly arrested last night. That's another thing. Was Nancy Pelosi arrested? Where's the proof? Where'd you hear that? And whoever told it to you, did they show you receipts? Do you see her in handcuffs? Do you see her standing? Is she in a jail cell somewhere? I need to see proof, guys. I'm an agnostic. I'm not going to say I'm an atheist because I'm willing to believe, right? I don't know what's right or what's wrong. I don't know which way to believe. So until I see evidence, until I see Nancy Pelosi in cuffs, I don't believe it. To me, it's fake news. It starts off with an F- and it's got to work its way up to an A+. Now, speaking of arrests, another reason why everybody was saying that Nancy Pelosi is freaking out is because there was supposedly this letter that was found on Nancy Pelosi's phone, and it's been going all around the internet. Guys, before I go to the next one, everybody hit the like button. Everybody comment on this video. Everybody share it. And I'm going to get to that, Martin. I'm going to get to that. That's on my list of things to do, that the Pope was arrested for. You stay tuned, my brother. You hang on in there. Because that is something I'm also going to cover. Now, have you guys seen the supposed letter from Nancy Pelosi? And this is why people are saying that she's freaking out and why she was arrested. Because again, you got to distinguish what's true from what's false. Her laptop was definitely stolen. Okay. Even the liberal leftist Washington Examiner confirmed that Nancy Pelosi's laptop was stolen. But was it stolen just by some roast beef guy? Can't say the A name. Was it stolen by special ops that were sent in there? Was it just stolen by a Trump supporter that says, hey, I got Nancy Pelosi's laptop, and we're going to see like a selfie in a few days on his Twitter account of him going through her laptop? But a lot of people are saying that there's this incriminating letter on there that was written to Ted Wheeler, who is the mayor of Portland, Oregon, which was one of the cities that was burned down by Antifa and Black Lives Matter last year, which none of these people showed any outrage at, by the way. All these DC Capitol outrage people, the Storm Capitol butthurt crowd that are seeing all this outrage over this supposed coup that happened that was so terrible and so disastrous that everybody was able to resume voting 4 hours after it happened. It was so bad. I mean, it was worse than when they stormed the Bastille for the French Revolution. You know, it was so bad that they were able to resume voting within hours of squelching this unarmed siege that supposedly happened. And they were even able to certify Jim Crow Joe in the wake of this horrible, revolutionary, historic, never before done storm of the Capitol. Which, by the way, it's Sunday night. I got a little bit of time. Can I take a quick detour for a second, guys? Let me see if I could find something. Guys, did you know that there was a time when let me see something here. Give me a second, guys. Well, you know what? Let me not waste time. Let me do this on another show. I don't want to keep you guys. Actually, let me see if I could find it right now, I'll do it. You know what? Let me come back and do it tomorrow. Actually, here it is. Guys, what if I were to tell you that this is not the first time that a Capitol building was stormed? What if I told you that what we saw happen on January 6th, and again, we have to realize there's 5 people who died, right? Ashley Babbitt lost her life. I'm not trying to downplay the deaths of people, but this notion that this has never before been done in American history, and it's just so, you guys want to see that that's not true. Matter of fact, when Joe Biden said, "Oh, if Black Lives Matter would have come in there, it would have played out totally differently." Well, what if I were to tell you that the Black Panthers stormed the capital of California back in 1967? You guys want to see some receipts on that? Let's see how they were dealt with, or if they were even dealt with at all.
Now imagine a group of angry armed black people stormed the nation's capital. Y'all know how much lethal force would be justified if a mob of angry armed black people took you into the state's capital? I mean, black folks are murdered for way less.
Sorry about that, guys. Sometimes I don't remember to unmute my mic. Sorry about that. The thing is, so that's what happened, guys. All they did was they took their guns from them. They took the guns from the Black Panthers, and that was that. So this idea that, oh, people have never stormed a Capitol before. These guys had machine guns. You guys saw that video in there. But getting back to Pelosi, there's the supposedly incriminating letter that was on her laptop that was written to Mr. Ted Wheeler, who's the mayor of Portland, Oregon. And they're saying that's why Pelosi's freaking out. So let me show you guys this letter. I'm sure you've seen it. And I'm going to cry BS on this. Okay? I'm going to cry BS on this. But let's read the letter. And I got to be honest, when I first started reading the letter, it just sounded so fake. This is so fake, guys. And I'm going to prove to you how fake it is. And if it's not fake, I'll acknowledge it, but I don't think it is. And I'm going to show you some pretty compelling evidence that it was fake. So Mr. Ted Wheeler, now this is supposedly from Nancy Pelosi, as you can see here. You can see her seal here. Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, August 27, 2020. Okay. Now, Mr. Ted Wheeler, dear Mr. Wheeler, I have seen your response to the riots in your city, and I'm urging you to stick to the proven Democratic playbook. I would like to review this with you now, as if Wheeler doesn't already know how to be a flaming lib. That's red flag number one. Okay. I would like to review this with you now. Deny there is a problem. Press will support this. Number two, refer to everything as peaceful and calm. Press will help here also. And again, this stuff is all true. Just what I don't think is true is that Pelosi wrote this. 3, when all hell breaks loose, go on camera and show your support for anybody breaking the law. Press will praise you for this, and you will be a new hero. Trust me. Number 4, when you can no longer keep any order, blame Trump. I cannot overemphasize number 4. This has worked every time we have used it again and again, and the press has told me they will support and fact check any claim we make. This is political gold. Number 5, go on television and condemn Trump and refuse any assistance. We cannot give Trump any victory before the election. Signed, Nancy Pelosi. Now, let me show you why I believe this letter is fake, okay? I should have been a detective. That's kind of like my missing calling. Guys, you could tell that this is superimposed on this letter. Let me do a close-up here. You can tell. Look at how superimposed this is. You see this outline here? Look at that outline. That's not no genuine seal, bro. That is Photoshop and superimposed on there, number 1. And look at the letters. Look at how blurry the letters are. And you notice how there's background around these letters? This is known as penumbra. Penumbra. It's a weird word. Look it up when you get a chance. But when you see this little outline here around the letters, see that little gray outline around everything? It's called penumbra. And notice how there's no penumbra here. See how it's white here? But boom, whenever there's letters, you see this gray haze around it. You see this penumbra around it. Notice that it ends here. You see the white here. Boom, wherever there's letters, there's penumbra. Right? Genuine letters, guys. Look at how Photoshopped this is. Look at all this penumbra around everything. That's not no real signature. Genuine letters, guys, they don't have penumbra in them. You want to see a letter without penumbra? Look, watch this. Here's another letter from Nancy Pelosi. You notice how there's no penumbra here? You see how clearer this is than the previous one? Look at that. Look how clear that is compared to the other one. Crystal clear. There's no penumbra. It's not blurry. It's not all hazy. Whereas if you look at the other one, the one that I just previously looked at, look at that. You see the difference? Fake, real. Fake, real. Fake, real. Let me show you some further proof that it's fake. Look at Nancy Pelosi's signature down here. You see how her N is? She's got the big swooping in. So you got a little line here, then you got a big fat N. You got Nancy Pelosi, right? Surrounded with penumbra. Look at the real one. See the difference of the N? Let me blow this up so you can see it. Look at the difference of the N here. See how there's no line there? You look at the previous one. Look at the difference. Focus on it, guys. There's a line here, N. This has no line. See the difference? Notice she didn't say best wishes either. Usually at the end, it's always uniform. And she's got terrible grammar too. Why would she have lowercase wishes, like lowercase b, lowercase w wishes? It says sincerely Nancy Pelosi. So this is a fake letter, guys. Fake news. It's a fake letter, folks. Don't get caught up in the hype. Again, this is what leads to despair. When all this stuff proves to be not true, and everybody's thinking, oh, there's this damning, incriminating letter that's just going to sink everything and turn everything around. And here's here's more proof. Look at this, guys. Look at the difference of the seal. You see how clear the seal is here? Look at how crystal clear Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House's seal here. Let me make it bigger. See how clear that seal is? Whereas you look at the other one, night and day. Look how ugly the other one looks. Let me go back. See that difference? Look at the difference. Hazy seal, clear seal. Hazy, clear. Hazy, clear. Let's move on to the next piece of fake news. I'm just slaying one at a time, man. I'm going down the list. Was Pope Francis arrested? Was the head of the Catholic Church, the successor of St. Peter, Pope Francis, the Bishop of Rome, arrested last night? Because that's another thing that we've been hearing. That Pope Francis was arrested, that there was this big old blackout in Vatican City, and the blackout was deployed so that all the lights could be off and that Pope Francis could be rounded up and taken off to jail for pedophilia and child sex trafficking. Now, I have gone on record speaking out against how Pope Francis handled, I would say mishandled, the sex abuse crisis in the Catholic Church 2 years ago. I did all kinds of interviews doing that 2 years ago, and I'm going to do a whole nother show on that. I really will. I'll do a whole nother show on that. But if Pope Francis was arrested, I want to ask you guys a question. If Pope Francis truly was arrested and in handcuffs, don't you think the news media would be all over that? Now, here's why they would be. Because I know it's pretty stupid for me to even appeal to the news media to say anything that was, to expect the news media to report anything. Let me tell you why it actually makes sense to appeal to the mainstream media in this case. Because the mainstream media absolutely hates and despises the Catholic Church with a passion. And they would love it if Pope Francis got arrested. They would love it. It would be all over the news, folks. I promise you, if Pope Francis was arrested, it would be all over the news. The media would be reporting it everywhere. Now, I know that's an argument from silence, which I was criticizing earlier. Arguing from silence is one of the weakest ways that you can make an argument. So let me prove to you that Pope Francis was not arrested. If an argument from silence is too insufficient, then let's see if Francis was arrested. Now, we'll go back to my screen here. And let me show you some receipts. Now, notice this is dated January 10th, 2021. Now, supposedly Pope Francis was arrested last night, which would have been January 9th, right? He was arrested supposedly on the night of the 9th.
Interview that will be televised this evening also spoke about the violence that took place in the United States. He said that he was surprised. And he said, quote, "I was amazed because they are a people who are so disciplined in democracy." However, he added that even mature societies have flaws and that there's no country on earth can claim that there hasn't been a day of violence. He also said that the violence must be condemned regardless of who perpetrates it.
Oh, look, this is the Pope speaking this morning.
And here we have our Holy Father. Dear brothers and sisters, buongiorno. Today we are celebrating the baptism of the Lord. A few days ago, we left baby Jesus being visited by the...
So that's Pope Francis giving his morning Angelus address this morning, January 10th, Feast of the Baptism of Christ. He didn't look like he was in handcuffs to me. I don't see him in the back of a squad car. I don't see him sitting in a jail cell. Fake news. Next on the list is this Vatican blackout. That Pope Francis was arrested in the black of night, that there were some operatives that struck the grid in Rome. Now, it has not been confirmed that there was a blackout in Italy. So let's go back to my screen here before I wrap up, and let me show you guys some proof of the fact. So this is the live camera in Vatican City. Okay. It's live. Oops, hold on. Let me go back. Okay, so this was Vatican City during the day. See, it's raining, but I want to zoom in on something, guys. There is electricity out. You can see these electric signs that are up. Okay, and you can see some people here. It's kind of cold and rainy out, but look, guys, look at these changing signs. Do you see these? Look at these electric signs. If there was a blackout, blackouts means there's no electricity. This doesn't look like a blackout to me. Now, St. Peter's Basilica is usually more lit up at night, but as you can see, there's street lights on, there's signs that you could see, these digital signs, these LED signs or whatever you'd call them. You could see something pulsing over here. When I think blackout, guys, this is what I think when I see a blackout. A blackout is complete darkness. You see this complete darkness here? That's what a blackout is. You see how there's zero lights on anywhere? Nothing works. Whereas when you go over to St. Peter's Basilica, there's plenty of lights on. This doesn't look like a blackout to me. You can see light, 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 street light, street light, street light, digital sign, digital sign, digital sign. Look at all these signs here. So, the Vatican has not confirmed that there's been a blackout. I don't believe that there's a blackout. And the origin of this arrest of Pope Francis, it was from this website called Conservative Beaver. I'm sorry, Beaver Conservative, I think it is. Let me see. Here it is. This is the source of this rumor, guys, of the Pope being arrested and this massive blackout in Italy, or in Rome at least. I'm not saying there wasn't a blackout in Italy, but I didn't see one in St. Peter's Square. It's not, it's not as lit up as it normally is, but there were plenty of lights on. Vatican blackout, Pope arrested on 80 count of indictment for child trafficking fraud. Again, no proof. There's no proof of this. It appears that Pope Francis tweeted out this morning, but that was the source of this rumor, guys. That was the source of this fake news. It all started here. Breaking alert, following a nationwide blackout in Pakistan, there's now widespread blackout at the Vatican, yet you could see lights. So, again, until I see more proof, I'm not convinced. And guys, I promise you, I just haven't had time, but it will be on the list. I will do plenty of videos about hashtag Italy did it. Okay, that Leonardo satellite, that was controlled by the Italian government. The Vatican did have some ownership in it, from what I understand, and I don't want to go too hard and heavy on this because I'm still looking into some facts. But this idea that the Vatican literally just straight up worked with Barack Obama to sabotage, or worked with whoever to sabotage the 2020 elections, I'm still looking into that. I don't believe it. And if it turns out to be true, Catholic doctrine is no less true. Mary is no less the holy and immaculate mother of God. Jesus is no less present, body, blood, soul, and divinity in the Holy Eucharist. The Catholic faith is no less true. It just turns out that there's some corrupt bureaucrats that are in the Catholic hierarchy. Okay, that's nothing new. That's why Christ picked Judas. Check out my last video I did on that the other day. So, and there's a lot that I didn't cover, guys. And I'll get into Pope Francis's views. There's people that thinks he's a socialist, a communist. I'll get into all that stuff, I promise you. So I've pretty much covered everything. One more thing, Linn Wood has already gotten censored on Parler. The great mighty Parler has already started to censor Linn Wood. Parler reportedly removes post from pro-Trump lawyer Linn Wood after calling for Mike Pence's execution. So I guess because it was a call to violence, they removed his that post. Far-right friendly Parler hit further headwinds over the weekend after the social networking service reportedly removed a post by pro-Trump lawyer Linn Wood when he threatened violence against Mike Pence, Vice President Mike Pence. That's so disingenuous. He didn't threaten violence. He said he should be, killed by firing squad, but he didn't say, I'm going to kill him by firing squad. That would be threatening violence. He was basically just calling for that. And I still haven't made up my mind about Linn Wood, although he ended up being right on a lot of things that I thought he was crazy about. So I just wanted to hop on here, folks, because I see a lot of people just spreading a lot of things that I just, to me are just rumors and fake news. See what you guys have to say in the comments. It's saying that some of you are not able to post comments. Is that so, guys? Let me see some ones if you're able to comment. I'm seeing plenty of people commenting. Seeing plenty of people commenting. So anyway, guys, I want to thank everybody for hopping on tonight. I want you guys to like and share this video, comment on it. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, you want to go to subscribe to my YouTube channel because I actually have a link where you can read the entire executive order that Donald Trump was talking about 2 years ago. If you want to see that in its entirety, and it's quite a long read, but all it talks about is sanctions. It doesn't mention martial law. You got it. Those are two separate things. Okay. So thanks for coming on, everybody. I hope you guys had a great week. I hope you have an even better, had an even better weekend. Hope you have a great, productive week. And I will see you guys on the next video. Take care.